I'm starting the podcast. All right. Well, welcome here to the broadcast of the Formula One Breakaway F1 Tier 1 Race 3. We're coming to you from Baku. Well, it's going to be a good race here. My name is Bob O'Connor, but I'm not alone. I've got Banga here. Banga, how are you doing today? Track specifically as a driver, where are the talent? What stands out about Baku? Mm-hmm. 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 Yes. Yes. So this section that we just saw Nick come through, is that the one you were talking about? The one where wings are in jeopardy and things could just go flying? Is that the castle section when they talk about the castle section? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Nick. Yeah. 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 Well, Banga, we're getting word that we currently having issues hearing you, like on the live stream. Yeah, so if you could check maybe your microphone settings. But as Bonga is checking that out, we're on board with Josh here, who is currently on out on a hot lap, and we're just gonna see how he is doing as far as time is concerned. And what we're going to do throughout this qualifying session, we're just going to be giving you different perspectives of the different drivers, and we're just going to see how exactly they navigate. Oof. as Josh makes his way through that very, very, very perilous section. Well, I don't know exactly how things are going to turn out, but I'll tell you what. Well, when you're a South African driver, you're not exactly new to dangerous driving situations. I'll tell you what, there's a place in Johannesburg called Bree Street. Well, that's where I want to get my super license. If I can make it past those streets, I can make it past any potentially dangerous situation here. And, well, Josh is doing quite well here. Let us get a sense of how his time is doing here. And, well, throughout these kind of initial laps, Bonga, if you could just keep chatting, and we'll just keep checking in the chat if you can hear Bonga here. Bonga, you're still with us in the party chat, correct? Well, Bonga. All right, fantastic. Babsy K, welcome to F1 2021. This is the Breakaway Formula One League. This is, of course, the Tier 1 League. So these are the best drivers in this esports league, and Josh has so far set the fastest time, of course, with a 140.069. Woo! Sequay Langa, 1 minute 40.493, close behind Mello the Mellow, 141.272. So the times are starting to stack up here, and Nicholas Piero, Mello's teammate in the Mercedes, has had an issue there. So hopefully he can get himself sorted out before, before the qualifying session ends, really. But hey, Kushubile, as South Africans like to say here, things are going to get pretty tight. We got, of course, just under 13 minutes to go. Welcome to all of our viewers here. There's 11 of you, but you know what? It feels like it's 11,000, 11 million even TV viewers. So thank you for joining us here in the Formula One Breakaway F1 Tier 1 third race league here in Baku. And, well, we're just going to take a look at how Bonga or Bongs is doing on their outlap over there in the Ferrari. They are currently third in the standings. Bongs and Sequay, they currently have 34 points in the Constructors' Championships. Ooh, there's an incident there on track. And again, it is so perilous in Sector 2. That section was so dangerous, of course, and already people are losing wings. Oh my gosh, oh my goodness. Losing a wing is a terrible thing. That rhymes. Listen, getting back here to this qualifying session. DWAX in the AlphaTauri is currently on 143.3. He's currently in 8th place, but of course we still have to see times from Selby, Bongs, Spizozo, the 86er, Tindo, and Zotile, or for our American audience, that would be Zothile. Losing a wing, of course, is terrible. Yes, Ms. Bano, thank you for joining us. And Plamula Mviles is asking for Pami Mbangwa. Well, listen, I don't know. Pami might make an appearance here later in the broadcast. But look, we've got Spike Dozo is still in the pits, as well as a couple of other drivers that have yet to make their way out here into the laps. But of course, the championship leader in the drivers' standings, the great Titus, has currently set the fastest time by such a small margin, 140.004. Titus in the McLaren there. Listen, folks, I'll just let you in a little bit on the gossip from the paddock here in the Tier 1. I was asking Mello the Mellow and Nicholas if they had anything to do with the rumors that they're trying to slash the tires of Titus and Zotile. Of course, those are the two drivers, along with Seaflay, who have been, tearing it up in this league. And, of course, Nicholas and Mello the Mellow have denied trying to slash those tires there. Bongs, you're back with us in the chat. How are we feeling at the start of this race? And to all our 14 viewers, I want to, all our 14 viewers, I need you to let us know if we can hear Bonga in the chat. Bongs, how are we doing? Yeah. All right. All right. They are getting pretty hectic. Gaming with Romeo has left a comment here. Unfortunately, Bongo, we still can't hear you. Hopefully, that is something which could be sorted out. But we will keep this show going right on along. Bongo, of course, is our expert commentator here. I, of course, am, Bongo, of course, will be with us as soon as we sort out the technical glitches. But we've got 9 minutes, or just under 9 minutes and a couple of seconds to go. Nick Piero and Loveness unfortunately had issues as far as qualifying was concerned. Ms. Bono made a point earlier in the chat here in the live chat that Red Bull is supposed to give you wings, and I hope that the front wings can stay intact here throughout the whole race. Well, let's go out on board here with Mello the Mellow and see exactly how he is doing as he takes. Of course, this is, of course, one of the final corners, and he takes it nice and easy. He's hoping to get a good entry into the final sharp corner here, and, of course, he's going to hit the throttle and hope to improve on his time here. We're on board with Mello the Mellow for Mercedes here. How's he going to do? Oh, he does not even come close to the walls, of course. Floored. The pedal is all the way to the floor here. Will Mello improve on his current 7th place in the qualifying? Well, let us take a closer look. He approaches the line, and Mello the Mellow, we will get an update. Well, it looks like he's still in 7th place there. We're going to just keep on moving straight along to see how all of our drivers are doing. Clay, one of the fastest, of course, drivers this season, is currently in 3rd place on an outlap. And, of course, the track is not too busy right now. Only 3 drivers are on their outlap. As soon as he starts his fast lap, of course, we'll go on board and see how he does there. Ferrari follow closely by a Red Bull, presumably the Red Bull of Lungs there, also on the outlap. So we're going to take a very close look, and we'll follow on board with Clay as soon as the fast lap starts. Selby is also in the fast lap, followed closely by the other Ferrari, of course, of Bongs here. Remember, an update on the standings currently in the Constructors' title, Zottila and Lungs Red Bull and McLaren are level on 44 points, leading the championship, and Bongs and Clay in the Ferraris are currently 3rd in the championship, 34 points. Mercedes are 4th, that is Nick and Mello, followed by Aston Martin in 5th. But we're going to go now live on board with Clay as he begins his fast lap. Let's see how he will fare. Of course, look at the speed through that corner, carrying a lot of speed, of course, through, and he goes nowhere near the wall. Of course, this is the Tier 1 professional drivers here. Kushabile, it is going down. Yes, Ms. Bono, we hope that Zotal will do well. That is what people are saying in the comment section here. How will Clay do? Will he, of course, pit those top 2 times set by Josh and Titus? Well, it is going to be tight, of course, at the top there. These are the fastest drivers in the league coming through that section now. Clay is absolutely sending it into this right-hander now, carrying a decent amount of speed. Of course, here comes the Jeopardy section. How tight will it be? He threads it through, of course. Very, very smooth. And look at that. Look at that left-hand turn. Of course, Clay is, of course, one of the people expected to challenge for pole here with just over 5 minutes to go. We will be having an absolute scorcher of a race here, folks. And the final left-hander, yes, taking it very carefully there. Many, many drivers have hit that final wall. That Clay, of course, did not. And here comes the final left-hand corner. There are a couple of curves now. Oh, and looks like Clay has abandoned that lap. Let's go live now with Zottile, who was a bit further back in this track, and of course approaching the very same section that Clay kind of abandoned that hot lap attempt. Zottile is kind of getting a green flag notice over there. How will he take it? Will Zottile improve on his current 5th place on the grid? Yes, carries a lot of speed there. He does not relent at all. Will Miss Bana hopes that, that we can get a faster lap from Zatile, and of course that our co-commentator Bongs can join us again. Will Zatile improve on this? Well, not yet, it seems. Let us check. Sbuda is also, currently on an outlap, and we'll get back to Zatile there to see. Titus is in the pits. Titus is currently very confident at the time that he set, 140.004 as South Africans say. Titus might, of course, come back for a final hot lap. And we'll get to see how he fares as that goes on along. On board with Lungs here, kind of taking it easy, letting the people on a hot lap go on faster. One of them is the 86er, who really hasn't done much as far as qualifying is concerned. Left it really, really late. Babsy says, Mfundo, keep that time. Breakaway secured an ESPN commentator. Well, yes, as the 86er makes his way past D-Wax. Will we get a Jeopardy section here? And the final one, comes in with a lot of speed, but of course slows it down just in time. The 86er currently has not set a time. The 86er here needs to set a time. We'll hope, of course, to be among the points. Things are very tight in this league. There is very little margin for error. These are the top tier drivers in the Breakaway F1 league. Tier 1. These are the very best drivers. How will the 86er do here? The 86er really giving it they're all, he's pushing it, and he approaches the line. What time will you set, 86er? Currently, you are P11. Kushubile, it's going down. Zia Booya, it's coming back, as South Africans say. Currently out in the hot lap. We want to see how Selby is doing here. And let's just change perspective for a second. And, of course, would you look at that? And the wing is gone. And that'll, of course, affect other drivers on a hot lap, currently facing the wrong direction. Oh, my gosh, the wing is gone. And that is Selby, really backing it up into that runoff area there. Of course, the yellow flag coming out in Sector 1 as we get our driver approaching there and passing safely. Oh, man, we saw that live, that crash. Man, Bongs and, of course, Lungs are saying they have the strongest showing this season, says Sandy Gamady. Of course, we agree with you, Sandy, absolutely there. The Haas here of Nebo is, making its way, of course, not necessarily on a hot lap yet. Damnesia, that is Josh, who was P2, has set a fastest lap, breaches 39, 1 minute 39.8 for Josh there. That is the gauntlet laid down to Titus. That is the gauntlet laid down to Zotile. Currently, the lead is, of course, as far as the Drivers' Championship is concerned. What a lap from Josh there. 139.8. Titus will look to have, something to say about that. Currently out on the lap. If the drivers want to actually have enough time, they have just over 90 seconds. Let's see how Titus will fare here. Currently knocked down to P2. Josh Damnesia is the only driver to breach the 1 minute 39 seconds mark. Nice one by Selby there, says our commentators. Damnesia, damn, what a time. Yes, exactly. Let's see what it looks like from on board. Titus, how will he do? Titus, will he, of course, break that? Titus, of course, is doing very well. Oh, Titus is coming back into the pits here. Well, that's very surprising, has abandoned that attempt. We're on board now with Sbuda, who goes one better than Titus. So Titus is currently P3, was P2, Sbuda, LD. Well, would you look at that in the Alpine. Currently the second driver to breach the 1 minute 39 mark. Mfundo is currently on an outlap there. The other drivers are in the pits. Sikle, of course, one of the top drivers this season. How will this fare? Well. My goodness me. Let's see. That is an abandoned lap, it looks like, by All right, folks, my name is Bob O'Connor. If you've just joined us, there's 17,000 of you. Zia Kala says Kid K Malala. Yes, we absolutely agree. I am new to this Formula One commentary, but of course, we are trying to give you the very, very best as far as coverage is concerned here. S. Buddha is currently in P2 as things stand. We've got Titus in third, Mfundo fourth, followed by Zutile, Sikle, Mello the Mellow, Lungs, Banga, Nebo, Selby, the 86er. We have 4 drivers in today's grid who unfortunately had crashes, so could not set better times than they could. That was Tier 1 driving by Selby. We're currently on board with Mello the Mellow here. Of course, it is time to just make sure that you're strapped into your seats. One of the last drivers here to hopefully try and better their time is Mfundo Neto, currently in the Alpha Tauri. Look at that. Going in with high speed here, Mfundo will hope to breach the 1 minute 30, to breach past 1 minute 40 into the 1 minute 30s here. Ooh, comes very, very close to the wall here, Mfundo. How will you do? Will you be able to set a better time here, Mfundo? Will you? Dan Katiabanga says, Babsy, guys, we appreciate all the comments coming through. Will Mfundo better the 1 minute 40.3 time? And no, so that is still the time. Mfundo currently in P4. So that is our grid for today. We've got 18 of our best drivers here in the Tier 1. Welcome. This is F1, Breakaway F1 Tier 1 League. What that means is that we have 2 separate tiers here in this Formula 1 League, and these drivers that you're watching are currently the best drivers in this esports league. Guza Shuba, Zia Kala, all these South African sayings, it's going to get pretty fantastic, pretty hot. Well, I've also got, Pami Mbangwa, he's a cricket commentator. Pami, what the heck are you doing here? Well, I'll tell you what, Bob, this is Formula One. I don't know much about it, but it's more riveting than a new ball on day 3 of a test match. I look forward to a lot of drama. Look at the standings here. Oh, I'll cut you off here, Pami. Damnesia, that's Josh. Buddha, Titus, currently in the top 3. And look at that. We've got Mfundo, Zatile, Sile, Mello, Lungs, Bongs, Ngabo, Selby, and the 86er. And of course, we've got Man Ray and D-Wax. Listen, it is going to be a fantastic race. Sandy says, Buddha has been bubbling at 4th, under the radar, could break into the podium finishes. Sandy, you're absolutely correct. And, it's going to be absolutely fantastic to see how this turns out here. Buddha, one of the drivers, of course, that a lot of people are looking forward to here. And I can tell you now, wherever the drivers are in their little cockpits, they are having butterflies in their stomach. I can imagine that Titus is currently in P3. Titus is probably fuming because he's used to leading the races from the front. Of course, early on, I was letting you in on some paddock gossip that Mello the Mellow and Nick in the Mercedes both denied allegations that they tried to slash Titus and Zatile's tires. Of course, we don't, see that. Of course, that's just a nasty rumor making its way around the paddock. But hey, maybe Titus is the one that planted the rumor to unsettle the Mercs. Listen, we don't know. But, all 19,000 of you watching this race here, it is going to be fantastic. Would you look at that? The weather has changed. And as we wait for this race to begin, that is going to have, implications on whether or not on pit strategy, depending on not if the weather changes and if the weather dries up in the middle of the race or later on in the race, it's going to be hectic. And Cassana Blamini asking, who are these commentators? Welcome to this race, and Cassana. My name is Bob O'Connor. I'm a commentator here on, this is Breakaway F1, the Tier 1 League, coming to you live from Baku in Azerbaijan. And I'm joined by a commentator, co-commentator, Banga here. We just need to check with you guys here in the live chat. All right, before we do that, it's 4 laps, 5 laps, and it is lights out. And that has nothing to do with ESCOM, but the race has begun. First lap, of course, we've got Josh. He keeps his lead. Buddha in second place. How will this race go? Would you look at that? Zotila has already gained a place here, and as Josh holds on to the lead, ooh, look at him, look at that rear end sliding over there. We've got Titus, of course, currently in P3. Zotila is breathing down Titus's neck. Let's see if Josh manages to hold out here into the other corners. We already seem to be having some yellow flags, a virtual safety car coming out here. We see, if we go further down at the back of the grid to see what might be happening here, Bongs, Tindo in the McLaren already has been disqualified. But let us go and see what is happening at the top under the virtual safety car. Of course, drivers have to drive a little bit slower here. Damnesia is of course, well, how he's known across the paddock, but his name is Josh, and Josh is driving for Alfa Romeo. They are currently in ninth in the constructors grid. What a start, what a qualification. The weather has taken its toll here. Josh, of course, taking it nice and slow. Buddha is currently second here. And as you said in the chat here, Buddha is doing very, very well here. He's holding his own here. And Titus is, of course, one of the leaders of the Tier 1 as far as speed goes, as far as points goes. And he's currently in P3. So Thiele gained a place at the start there through that frantic start. As we see the yellow flag there, Zatila made his way from 5th to 4th, and Fundo is currently, of course, 5th there as we see him come past there in the AlphaTauri. With this rain, we can't be surprised, Ms. Bono. You're absolutely correct. Well, it's almost green flags here. I wish it dries up, says the commentary here. Well, we will see exactly how things pan out. Towards the bottom of the grid, the 86er has made his way past D-Wax. Oh, would you look at that? The 86er has lost a wing. That is absolutely depressing as Josh sets a faster time of 2 minutes 13.180. The 86er has lost a wing. Listen, there's nothing more depressing than losing a wing in Formula One. It's like coming home, well, to your family and finding an empty box of chicken licken. Well, I'll tell you what, the 86er will have to box himself. Let's go back to the top here and see how Damnesia is faring here, and he's, of course, followed very, very closely by Espuda and Titus. Nebo is out. Bongs is out. We've got 3 drivers who have been, well, knocked out of this race thanks to the rain. Things are incredibly, incredibly tense here, folks. I'll tell you what, but Josh is holding out here. Josh is hoping to make sure that his team, Alfa Romeo, well, does a lot better than 9th place in the constructor standing, and they're doing absolutely well here. Well, we've got Esbuda, of course, following close behind. Would you look at that? Ooh. It's always very, very, very perilous there. And look at that left turn. Well, Esbuda is doing very, very, very well for himself here. Lungs has already racked up a penalty here. We've got 2 penalties for the 86er and Lungs. Well, would you look at that? Well, penalties are, of course, not too surprising in these conditions, but we want to keep a close eye on, on conditions where drivers are very, very close to themselves. Look at that. Lungs is closing in, breathing down C-Clay's neck. It is so difficult. If you've just joined us here, this is the F1 Breakaway Tier 1 Tier 1 race here, and well, we want to see you there. The condition of the tires. The drivers have, of course, currently done just 1 lap or 2 laps as far as the lead is concerned. And would you look at that? At the top, it's a battle, it's a scrap. Spuda and Damnesia, the lead has just changed hands. Spuda has, of course, gone and taken the lead, as you were seeing in the comments there. Buddha is one to watch out for in the AlphaTauri as we make sure that we see all of these details here to make sure. Right, I want to show you and make sure that you can see exactly where all of our competitors are. Thanks for joining us. This is, of course, the 3rd race of the season. Damnesia has Titus breathing down his neck right now. And as you can see this, as they come through that S-curve, it is a top four fighting it out. C-Clay has already pitted, it seems. The 86er, of course, had that huge incident losing their front wing, and they're currently in 16th position in that Williams car. Well, if I have to come back in and chime in here, I'll tell you what, it's 2 laps here. And, this is something that Josh, who is currently in P2, will hope to have a good shot at the race victory here. Sbuda is currently leading, hoping to keep Josh off his tail, as we see Sbuda just kiss the wall a little bit there. I'll tell you what, in cricket we like to kiss our hands, point up to the air when we take a wicket, as Sbuda kissing the wall there. This rain has been a game change, as you say there, Kid K, Masala. All 20,000 viewers, thank you for joining us here. This is the T1 League. And Kamulo asking about Quinton de Kock. I cannot explain right now, but I can tell you that Titus is breathing down Josh's neck. It is extremely tight. I agree, Pami. Would you look at that? The top is absolutely perilous as we come back to see exactly what Lunga is doing, really taking it super close here against Mfundo here in this fourth lap. People asking for Brathox. Listen, it's a packed commentary box here. I'll see, and I'll try and see if we can get Brathox here on the line. But as we go back, and would you look at that? It's a battle between Spizoso and DeWax currently. Sliding around, but Spizoso just has overtaken DeWax there, and there's a battle also going on between Mellow the Mellow further down the grid and Selby, who has currently overtaken Inati here. Listen, things are absolutely intense, absolutely crazy here on F1 2021. We've got Brathox here joining us from Deep Kloof in Soweto. Brathox, what have you made of it so far? Well, a G-string, as we understand, is a South African term for a BMW, but BMW is not the Constructors' Championship here. As we watch Titus, of course, really giving Josh a hard time. Josh qualified in P1 here, and Josh was really hoping to be at least in the lead as far as, well, things were concerned here. As we take a closer look, Josh, of course, is also giving S. Buddha a hard time in the lead here. Folks, we are having an absolutely intense race here. We're not exactly sure what information the teams are getting as far as their teams are the information that the teams are giving. Zotile has, of course, Titus was trying to give Josh a hard time. Zotile said, well, I'll take that spot from you. And would you look at that? Zotile, who has vowed to give this championship all he's got, has really now said that, well, I am going to try and get as far ahead as possible. Zotile, well, of course, Brathox, apparently you met Zotile before?
Zutila, Red Bull, ayazama, mara maybe ulungsnay, also something,
Well, Brathox seems to be a Red Bull fan here, but of course we're trying to make sure that we give you the very best as far as the race here is concerned. Zatile is closing in on Josh, who himself is closing in on and inching in on our race leader here. Loveness is the silent assassin here in this T1 league, and he's currently battling it out against Lund here, who currently holds a time penalty, as we can see here. We've lost 3 drivers to the conditions here, so it's been really intense here. But I want to take you close here to Damnesia, or Josh, who is breathing down S. Buddha's neck. And I want to see exactly what it looks like from Josh's perspective. Would you look at that? Buddha really taking it careful here. Try not to go too hard on the curves, but Josh is making sure that he lets him know that, hey, as Buddha, I am right on your butt. Get in there, says Babsy in the comments. All of you who have just joined, well, Josh is choosing violence, says Masbano. Yes, he most certainly is, as he's fighting and really, really doing his best to make sure that, well, the race leader does not have a good time out there. And as we see, Josh sets the faster time, 156.683. How quick is that, Tommy? I'll tell you what. In cricketing terms, that's the equivalent of a ball by strike back up. But look at that. Josh is making his move here on Buddha, almost going side by side. They have the advantage. Josh has the inside line. Absolutely inside line, that's correct. And Josh takes the lead here from Esbuda. Would you look at that? This is a fight of the ages here. Esbuda will not like that at all as Seaplay sets the fastest lap. Oh my goodness. This is a scrap to be remembered. What a race here. We want to see how Titus is holding up. Of course, Titus was knocked down a peg by one position by Zutile, or to our American viewers, by Zothile. What a move that was by Josh. Absolutely banging action here as we catch up also with Loveness, who is breathing down Lungs's neck here. What will that be if they make that right turn? It is absolutely tight here as this small little train of three cars is really pushing, really making its presence felt. Quality driving, says Christopher in our chat here. It was an excellent move by Josh to make sure that he retakes the lead. Of course, Josh, for those of you who are just who have just joined us, Josh, damn neat, the race nickname that you see there. Josh qualified first, and he has retaken the lead after struggling a little bit as far as the lead is concerned at the start of the race. Loveness, of course, kind of slowing down a little bit as we see those trails of cars there. I also want to show you how D-Wax and how C-Clay are faring up. Josh once again sets the fastest time. Gamma Maverick says Zotile will take the fastest lap soon. And oh my goodness, let us take a closer look here. We seem to have had my goodness, is there an incident? Zotile, we seem to have lost Zotile here. Unfortunately, was doing so well, but Titus, as we catch up here with in second place. Oh my gosh. Josh is pulling away here. Now has a 5-second lead. Oh my goodness. Lungs, we want to see exactly how he fares here. Of course, chasing. Oh my goodness. What a race. We have lost 4 drivers to the incidents here, to the conditions. Zotile is out. Commentators curse. Zotile was, of course, looking forward to build on that race win that he had already taken in the first race of the year. Oh my goodness. Zotile is out. Zotile, of course, was fighting very, very hard there. Of course, Zotile being crashing out of the race there brings Mfundo into the podium places. And that is huge. That is huge as far as the championship is concerned for Red Bull. Lungs, who currently has a time penalty, well, he's the only one that is now holding the hopes for Team Red Bull. Palmy, what do you say to that? I'll tell you what, Zotile, I mean, this was absolutely unexpected. Zotile crashing out is equivalent of a series of 6 snowballs from Dale Steyn, as we see Mfundo and Lungs battling it out here. Mfundo was looking for the inside line there, but couldn't necessarily get it there. Mfundo is having to defend for his life here as both drivers are sending it. When you look at the speed at which they're carrying it, Mfundo is really taking no prisoners here. Oh my word. Oh my word. Let us see exactly how things are going here. Folks, it's been absolutely fantastic here to be, well, to be absolutely part of this incredible race that we're all watching here. Seakley has currently set the fastest lap with a 155.8. What a drive it has been so far. We see Lungs is backing off here as Sbuda currently creeps his way up. Of course, Sbuda had pitted for a fresh set of tires, and Sbuda is currently in fifth place. Sbuda was holding the lead in the race earlier, in case you've just joined us. So we're not exactly clear how this will end, but if the weather clears up and the drivers need to put on slicks, which of course are the tires for the dry weather, then maybe, just maybe, we will see even more drama here. But my goodness, would you look at that. Well, it is currently a huge battle going on at the top and at the bottom. This is the viewpoint from the 86er, who also has really fresh tires. Of course, the 86er had a terrible crash earlier, knocking him down from, from the points all the way back to the back of the grid there. Nicolas Piero in the Mercedes is also currently trying to make his way, trying to catch up. These two drivers at the back will be hoping for another safety car, for another incident. As we see Mfundo and Lungs battling it out here, let's take a closer look. They were going side by side. Lungs has done it, and Lungs, of course, was battling with Mfundo there. He fell about a second behind a few minutes ago, but now he has absolutely retaken it. And look at the speed through which he carried that. That absolutely fast curve there. Lungs, Zotile Zothile will be absolutely saluting you from where he is, as we see Mfundo kind of coming out of that battle and deciding, you know what, I'm going to head into the pits here and put on a fresh set of tires. Let's see how Spizozo is doing here. Currently P6, of course, on 8 laps. Lungs, Maspana says Lungs needs to do right for Red Bull, of course. Yeah, they will be trying their best. We also have, we've got 3 commentators here. We've got myself, Bob O'Connor. Galler Maverick says Lungs is avenging his teammate. That is correct. After that incident which saw Zetile Zothile get knocked out of the race. Musbano, it says to the real Caboza, I hope it rains too for tier 2. Of course, one of the people in the comments here is Caboza, currently doing well in the tier 2 league, which races at this track tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned to this here channel to make sure you never miss the races here in the F1 Breakaway Esports League, the best Formula 1 racing league in South Africa, I would say. We have races on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Today is the tier 1 race, which means it is, of course, the top tier drivers in this esports league, and tomorrow the tier 2 drivers will be driving here on this track. The rain conditions have made things perilous, as we see Sbuda, of course, trying to creep their way back up here. Talani Lavuno, thank you for joining us here, being an amazing spectator here. We love you too here on F1 Breakaway. Lowe's, Titus, and Josh. That is our current top 3, but I want to show you all of the action here in P7 as Sikle is really fighting it out with Spizozo, really trying to get into that slipstream, really trying to use the fast air set, of course, and he gets that move done. Would you look at that, folks? Would you look at that? Okay, I'll just try to do this now. Well, folks, what a race we have had here. It has been absolutely intense, I tell you. Absolutely intense. I want to make sure that we have got all of our co-commentators here, and I just want to add Banga, of course, to the commentators chat here. But you know what, folks? We are having one of the most memorable races here on the F1 Breakaway League here, as we've been watching Seaplay, who pulled that absolutely incredible move here to make sure that he passes Spizoso a little bit earlier. Spizoso, of course, went into the pits. But I want to show you all of the perilous battles here. It is Spuda and Lungs. This has been one of the stories of the races so far. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Absolutely nothing being given in terms of, no taking chances. Lungs is under pressure here. Lungs knows. Lungs is getting, information from his team that, Baba, back attack. Well, thank you for that, Bertox. Banga, are you with us? Have you joined us here?
No, Tussin, it's Zotal here who crashed out.
Oh, Zotal has joined the chat. Well, Zotal, thank you very much. I'm sorry. We've got Zotal, of course, joining us from the paddock. Zotal, I'm sorry about that incident. Could you tell us exactly what happened from your perspective?
Yeah, look, it was unfortunate. I think I was going for Sbuda. I was on the slipstream. I think he was just entering the pit. I thought it was still going on the straight. 2 toes, he slowed down, and I think I crashed on the back of him, and that was the end of my race, which is
that was absolutely crazy. After seeing Buddha going on your teammate, and he doesn't quite get that move going. But if you look at that, this has been a battle of the ages between Buddha and Lungs. Banga, are you with us in the chat? We're just checking in.
Yeah, we can hear you, Banga. Yeah, no, all good, man. It's yeah.
Yeah. Would you look at that? This battle between. Oh my word, Banga! We're hearing our audience members are still struggling to hear you. It sounds like you're still on mute somehow. As Man Ray is closing in here on Ainati, and that battle between Lungs and Sbuda has changed hands once again. My word, can you believe Sbuda and Lungs have been fighting it out for this podium position, and this has been one of the big stories of the race. We are not sure if Lungs will be able to avenge his teammate Zatile, who is still with us here on the line. Zatile, when you think of your teammate Lunga, what is it that makes them, in your view, able to maintain this position and really make sure that they do not lose that?
Yeah, look, it's his first season. My teammates is his first season, so I'm not really expecting to defend much. But I'm hoping that he can, get us points as a Red Bull team. It's a hack that I crashed out. But hey, I'm gonna gun for him. It's P4 right now. Hoping for the best.
Hoping for the best as we see some positions changing hands here in the midfield. Josh is currently still leading by a factor of about 6 seconds from Titus, who is hoping, of course, to make sure that, he climbs his way and cements his position at the top of the league standings. But my word, would you look at that? Zozo currently 2.5 seconds behind Selby. Of course, Seaplay has just come out of the pits. As you can see there, Josh is currently holding out on 11 laps. Zutile, now, when you look at a race on intermediate tires, as we're seeing, how risky will the top 2 guys' position get the older these tires get, or does it depend on the conditions?
Yeah, it depends on the conditions. Definitely depends on the conditions. But we've seen Tier 1 has got magnificent drivers who are able to manage the tires. I think in actual fact the whole grid is able to manage the tires. the race was a one pit strategy. Some drivers can take it to the end, but we'll see how the way pans out.
We'll see how it pans out. And Fundo had gone into the pits once more again. Ooh, Kushubile Ziabuya, it is coming back, as the South Africans say. Well, I tell you what, it's not exactly, well, clear how this battle for the podium positions in particular will pan out. But the person with the freshest tires in that top three is S. Buddha. And, well, as we go on board with him here and just as we see exactly how Buddha is doing, he might just have the upper hand the further into the race we go as soon as one of the top two decides to pit. Maspano says, I am so impressed with Damnesia, that being Josh, the person in the lead in that Alfa Romeo. Of course, currently top three, that is the Alfa Romeo of Josh. We've got Titus, we've got S. Buddha, and Lungs, Zatile's teammate there in fourth position. Loveness, the silent assassin, is really coming along nice and steady, no penalties. And the only person who's racked up a penalty so far, a time penalty, is Lungs in P4. Of course, we've seen Lungs and S. Buddha battling for that third spot. Well, of course, the penalty, those time penalties will count against you as soon as we get to the end of the race there. But let's go and see this absolutely tight trade, just trailing each other here, of course, led by the AlphaTauri of D-Wax. Followed closely by Selby, Spizozo, and Seaflay. Welcome to all 25 of you. If you've just joined, this is the Tier 1 of the Breakaway F1 esports league. Tier 1 meaning, of course, these are our top drivers in this esports league. Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Spizozo and Selby going at it, and Selby, Spizozo, ooh, there has been another incident of a wing loss, and it looks like Spizozo there has absolutely lost that wing. How depressing is that, of course, losing a wing? Imagine coming home, I'll say it again, coming home to your family, finding an empty box from your favorite chicken joint. There are no wings, and of course, well, he will have to box himself there, Spizozo. But of course, we've got Seaclay and Selby now currently, who will be the main protagonists in that battle to make sure that they stay in the points. Spizozo, how bad will that be? As the closer we get to the end of the lap, he'll be, of course, closer to the 86er as Spizozo makes his way into the pit there. Seaclay has made that move on Selby. My word, this is a race. Yeah.
Am I audible now?
We've got Banga back here. To all of you in the group watching here on the live stream, please let us know, Banga, how have you seen this race so far? And then in the chats, I need you to let us know if we can hear Banga. Banga, how have you seen the race so far?
It's been hectic, man. I think for me so far the biggest benefactor of these race conditions seems to be people they love this because he's literally climbed up 14 positions from where he started to where he currently is.
Yes.
And I think that it's holding quite strong in that. But it's quite unfortunate that Zotile and
Ooh! Time to interrupt you, Banga, there. As Titus goes into the back of Loveness. Banga, we can hear you now. Thankfully, we can hear you, Banga. We just need you to turn up the volume on your end. Apparently, you're coming through very, very low on the audio. Titus hit Loveness there, and of course we're just gonna check to see how much damage will there be to Titus's front wing there. He came in hot. It looks like the front wing is still intact, but Titus pits. Of course, he was on fresh tires, but that might be a wing change that he would need there. Titus, of course, yes, he's getting a new wing, but he absolutely was going in too hard there on Loveness. My word, Banga, did you get a look at that? And look at Seaclay making a move into us. Oh, going around. Oh, would you look at that? Seaclay and D-Wax is now in Seaclay's slipstream, hoping to get his own back to this first sharp turn, this left-hander. Oh, and not enough grip there as far as D-Wax is concerned. Seaclay looking to keep it steady and pull away. What a move that was from Seaclay, who has had an adventurous race themselves, just all over the grid here, but this battle has been one that we've been watching very closely. Of course, at the top of the grid, we've got Lungs, who has finally made it, of course, into those podium positions. It is currently Josh, who has had an excellent
Josh is
race from the start
Josh
here.
is moving quite comfortably. I mean, a 4 second gap to well, now 5 seconds to the next best driver is in such rain conditions, and he seems to be handling quite well. The corner turning is really insane, and I think that maybe we might just actually call it already. What do you think?
Oh, you mean call the podium as it currently stands?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Look, anything can happen. Danielle was saying in the comments just now in the chat that Buddha is going to be in the top step, as Buddha currently is in the pits getting a fresh set of tires. Banga, people in the chat are still, we can't hear you, but we're asking for a little bit more volume on your side. Banga, would you look at that? As Buddha, of course, has been in the pits. Loveness is now up to P2, but Loveness still has to pit themselves to get fresher tires, or maybe Love's is going to take their chances. As you can see, the car is slipping and the sliding there. Not much grip on that. And Kosana was saying they didn't see Josh pit. Josh was in the pit as we were watching that battle lower down the grid. So Josh is currently on a fresher set of tires. Lungs needs to
Ooh.
pit, of course. Would you look at that? Loveness, Buddha, and
But
Lungs here have been exchanging positions, Banga.
yeah, but I'm more noticeably City just smashed a 154 fastest lap. That is quite crazy for given such race conditions. I mean, these guys were doing a minute 40 during the qualifiers, and that's max car output performance. So to be able to put that time in such conditions is actually quite insane.
Imagine that. In these conditions, Seakley smashing that fastest lap as we see there's, of course, this battle between Buddha and Lungs has been really one of the battles of the day for that third spot on the podium as we get to look at what it looks like from Subuda's point of view, really, really breathing down his neck. They're on the same freshness as far as tires is concerned. What is it going to take for either of these two to really like make it, to really make sure that they're the ones on the
At, at,
podium, Bonga?
at this point, it's really going to take quite some skill because they're both on a fresh new set of intermediate tires. They have Loveless ahead of them, who hasn't actually pitted. And remember, under rain conditions, pitting is not mandatory, so everyone can literally run in the same set of tires from beginning to end. So really, it's going to be insane. Oh, there goes Loveless. He actually does indeed pit. So Lewis is going to regain the second position, and Spool still hot on his heels. And remember, Titus is also lurking in the fifth position. I would think that he wants to get back to on the lead where he was. So this is really going to become
Ooh.
really insane. Hell, Titus does another 154. That
Would
is
you look
tied.
at that
Jesus.
fastest lap? Oh, Josh, Josh is on fresh tires. Or are you saying in the comments here, Kid K, Loveness is a silent killer for real? Says Musbano in the comments. Has really made his way up the grid. Currently on the fifth place. Babsi says Josh is going the distance. Kushubile, as the South Africans say here, but that was very important context that you were saying earlier, Banga, here, that the likes of Sihle and all of our front runners are really setting incredible times that are, of course, quicker than most of the times that we were seeing in dry conditions.
And really, it really shows just how intense this whole racing is. As we're seeing Josh leading with quite a healthy gap. I mean, a whole 35 seconds is about the time of a complete pit stop to the next person, and some pit more. So unless something really drastic happens, I can really call it in seeing Josh is taking it.
Absolutely. This battle here for the podium places is absolutely tight. We've got this trail of four
The
cars
real
here.
the real juice is between second and fourth, because they are really hungry, and whomever actually manages to get ahead
Wait for
might
Titus.
I don't. I think it might be too soon to call. Maybe too late to call because we are already under. How many laps do you have now? We're 8 laps left, right?
Yes, yes.
Under rain conditions, and Josh is still has a healthy lead, although now he's lost about 2 seconds to the car behind him. I don't think that there'll be enough of that though to cover within this laps, unless again something really drastic happens, which at this level of skill I don't foresee happening.
Yeah. Another
No,
fastest lap from Seaplay.
Cynthia 154.4 is mad crazy. Like he's been pushing this thing. His instinct minutes are 5 laps old,
safety
and
car.
they can definitely
Oh
Would
no!
you
but
look at that? It's a
oh,
safety
it's a
car.
safety car,
It is a safety
and it's
Oh
car
no!
coming out, and there's been an incident. Nick has lost a wing there, and he's been just falling down. Well, really trickling down the grid here. Oh my
he is
word!
completely out.
My, would you look at that?
Ziakala.
And
His changes
of
and
course, well, this is an opportunity to pit. Bonga, could you explain to us what kind of an opportunity a safety car gives you as far as pit strategy is concerned?
So the most important thing about the safety car is that it almost allows racers it's a sort of like a safe reset when an incident has occurred where race controllers can be able to clear out any kind of debris or move a car of the road depending on the severity of the accident or crash that has happened, and basically allows the cars to catch up with each other, and then for the race to somewhat like restart over a period of 2 laps. Of course, now this gives opportunity for certain cars to either to go in and pits, change the tires, change their wings, and that alone already poses a challenge because depending on where the person pits in and how fast the pit is and when they pit out, you will see a change in the position of where they start when the safety car eventually
Yeah,
comes in. So
yeah,
as it stands right now, we're looking at that eventually the guys are going to catch up. Oh, Cynthia catches a drive through penalty for speeding under safety car. So basically he has to go
Oh
into the pit
no!
spot to serve the drive through penalty.
After
But
the
as I was still
safety car.
explaining, yeah, as I was still explaining, basically what this means is that all the guys, Josh will have to slow down his pace, and the other cars will have to speed up to catch up with him under the safety car condition, which means that the entire 30-second gap lead that I was speaking about has been
yeah,
effectively wiped out. What that means then going forward, given that the safety car lasts over 2 laps,
yeah.
and which means that the race is going to restart at lap 20 of 26,
Mm-hmm.
in those last 6 laps, we are going to see some pretty amazing driving from racing from some pretty amazing drivers. And I don't know what this is going to mean, especially given that Long School and Tatas were already in a tight competition amongst their own. Now putting Josh into the mix is really going to set things on fire as Nicholas gets another penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Yeah,
My goodness me, what a race it has been, Miss Bono. In the comments, some of you were saying that Titus is right back in it. So Bonga, safety car is bad news for Josh, of course, who had one heck of a lead. He was on fresh tires. So this makes things all the more tense the closer we get to the end of the race.
indeed, but remember, Josh had almost a over 30-second advantage, and it seems like he actually did pit again to make use of the time to his advantage to even get a newer set of tires to
Yep.
restart the race off with, and that alone already is going to make things far more interesting because the other drivers have either two or more tires in lap time, or yeah, two or more laps on their tires. That's
Absolutely.
Kid rather on the phone.
In the chat, and Tlamulo and Kid K saying, well, that gap is gone now and things are going to be intense. Gama says Josh, of course, did pit for fresh tires. Josh is currently on, of course, the first lap on those fresh tires. So not all is lost. And from first all the way down, pretty much the whole grid is on fairly fresh tires. I think the oldest tires that we see here are the 4 laps of Spizozo and of course Man Ray. in the Aston Martin. Whoo! Christopher saying he can still stretch them out. He was driving beautifully. Absolutely, yes. Well, it looks like all the drivers, of course, Seaflay did rack up a penalty, and Seaflay did serve that drive-through penalty, but it looks like it picked up another one here. Do we expect the safety lap to come
Yeah,
in pretty
Banga.
soon? I mean, the safety car?
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely there's a few more, quite a number of cars that still need to catch up, or at least get as close as possible into catching up. So you have the backpackers towards the end. So Nick, Ray, Mello, and 86er, they are still quite a far bit of a fair distance away. And if they catch up before the end of, by the time the safety car reaches the lap line, then the safety cars definitely might be coming in.
Mm-hmm. Huh. And
Nicholas gets he catches another penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. Sinclair still has a drive-through penalty that he has to serve once the safety car is in, which might get him
aha.
further from the current from his current position, and we will have to see where that lands up. As we're waiting for Chris. He's the one who's furthermost out. Both Nick and 86 are at least half a lap away from catching the safety car, and they need to catch up pretty soon. Otherwise, it's going to go in and it's going to be curtains.
That is correct. Well, it is going to be quite the restart here as the safety car is about to go back in. But my word. Well, it's all backed up here. If you're watching from South Africa, this is the equivalent of the N3 at rush hour, or at least the double-decker section in Johannesburg. This is the equivalent of, well, being in Cape Town at about 3 p.m. and trying to make your way home. It's really, really stacked, of course, as it's supposed to be. So when things kick off again, it's going to be a scrap between those drivers there. Titus is, of course, going to try and give Buddha a hard time. Lungs is going to try and give Josh a hard time. Josh is going to be hoping to hang on to that lead. My word. Well, we're in for an absolutely Ziyakala, that's correct, the South African phrase here. You know, I've got butterflies in my stomach. I think in South Africa you call that jiwababa of some sort, but I know jiwababa has something to do with the crush. But listen, I'm crushing on motorsports here, and this race is really giving me butterflies here as we see the safety car.
The safety car is going around again.
Oh,
Oh, it's
well,
still
that
waiting for the other. Yeah, so I'm not sure who's. It's Nick who actually has to catch up with the safety queue because he's all the way
all the way
out.
back. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, 86 is stuck in the midst of the cars and he can't unlap himself from the safety car.
yeah,
So
yeah.
he's already sort of caught on to the safety queue, but Nick really needs to put some pedal to the metal to catch up with the others so that we can get this race
Yeah,
restarted.
yeah. So we're hoping that Nick makes his way. Of course, needs to catch up as we watch them there. Quite some way back from Man Ray. 45 seconds it says there, but hopefully the closer they get, then the better chances we have for the safety car to go in. So Bonga, tell me. Of course, we've got our viewers. Some of them are talking about feeling nervous. Some of them are talking about, well, we can't wait for the safety car to go in. Lungs, usually under safety car conditions, the tires cool down, and that's what we see, this kind of S motion that they're doing. They're trying to, well, keep some temperature in their tires. But could you tell us, Bonga, how difficult is that in these conditions where the track is cooler than usual, the weather is cooler, and you're on, intermediates? How difficult is it, as far as, restarting the race?
It really is a bit of a challenge because it's already difficult enough just trying to keep tires warmed up on a normal risk dry weather where it requires some bit of friction and speed to get that heat into them. Whereas in a race condition like this, you firstly are dealing with the fact that the weather is generally cold. As drivers are spinning left and right to try and warm up the tires, they stand a chance of the car actually slipping and hitting the wall. Um, in doing that, and then that's also going to cause a challenge. So we had to see as we prepare to get back into the race. the game is announced that the safety car is coming back in. So Nick is just going to basically have to play catch up with the rest of the other guys, even though they're an entire minute behind. And
Yeah,
we'll see how that plays out.
yeah.
Safety car in this lap.
Safety car
Safety
in the lap.
car is in this lap.
We have to keep watch of the top E as the race is about to go away, and it's on. Oh my!
And the
Something
safety
something
car
is
is
wrong.
going in, and Josh is sending it. He is pushing as hard as he absolutely can into that
Corner
first
to
corner.
go.
Oh my word! Your thoughts on how this is panning out, Bongs?
It's really getting heated.
I just want to see Lungs there on his tail.
So Lungs is really coming in strong. Remember, Lungs' size is 5 plus zone. Josh's is only 2, so that can also be gonna really put some pressure into Lungs and being able to keep up.
Oh my word, it is absolutely tight here. Lungs is holding on for dear life. Lungs is Red Bull's only hope. Zatile crashed out earlier in the race. Lungs is trying to keep it tight to Josh, but he's got Buddha breathing down his neck. Titus, of course, is also making sure that he makes his presence felt here to Buddha. So things are pretty tight here. Ms. Bono says Buddha could be a problem for Red Bull here. Of course, we've seen Buddha and Lungs fighting it out throughout most of today. Buddha and Lungs, for the most part, were fighting out, trying to get that third spot before we had a whole lot of incidents and that safety car early on in the race. But right now, Josh is really trying to maintain that gap. And it's of course still soon after the safety car. The gap hasn't extended that much. Josh is on tires that are just 2 laps old. So I suppose that could be a little bit of an advantage to Buddha and Lungs, whose tires are about 3 laps older than that. But this fight between Buddha and Lungs is one for the ages. It is absolutely fantastic. Things are super tight as we get a closer look at what Buddha is seeing here. Look at the concentration as he tries to make sure that he creeps in. So after the safety car, Bongs,
And
as
then
far as
and that
DRS
goes.
is concerned, there's no DRS in these conditions, correct?
There's no terrace in rain conditions. PK is now serving his drive-through penalty as his dropping position. He's currently out back in 12th
Yes.
after serving the drive-through. To see how painful that is, because the drive-through causes you at least 10 seconds in position. So yeah, there's no DRS definitely because of the rain conditions, but really it makes for an interesting chase, as there's a hot chase between Melo and Man Ray down the first straight, and Inati in the mix. So Man Ray is now in 11th, Melo is in 12th, Inati in 10th, and yeah, that's actually quite intense going into that corner. Yeah.
That is
And Bon, it's
absolutely,
important to note that the batteries are full.
yes.
Yes, indeed. Actually, the batteries are full as well. So that also is an additional layer of power that you can use. I was thinking about it.
Ooh!
Inati goes ahead instead of
Oh,
Mason.
oh, and there's contact again.
Oh,
There's
Man
contact
Ray.
again between Inati and Man Ray
How
here.
deep is that? Oh, jeez.
Oh my word. Oh my word. Well, we
Brakeaway
don't.
dominates.
Oh, but how much impact will that have as we go back to further up the grid? What an incident that was. Buddha and Lungs are still scrapping it out here, but let's go closer here. There's Secret breathing down Mello's neck. Mello, of course, was moving up on his own here, but it is a scrap. Look, they're side by side. Secret's got more speed coming into that corner, and Mello kind of gives it a little bit there as Secret goes over the curbs. Oh my word! And
Who's catching?
Secret is now breathing down Inati's neck.
His bull on the other end is breathing down Lungs' neck as they go into the first corner. Literally, his gap is under a second, and it is tight. It's about, if one wrong break happens, it might just ram him on the back again, on the back. So it's really it's on. His bull has his battery power on, trying to push that, use that to
Oh,
keep
yeah,
him
yeah, yeah,
straight.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah.
reaching the corner. It's just gonna happen. No, Lungs manages to get away. So for now, Lungs needs to Here's to die another day.
Live to die another day, absolutely there. As Seaflay is making his way slowly up the field again here, but this is absolutely tight. Josh is keeping things clean, is keeping things consistent. The gap now is 3 seconds after the safety car. Just 2 laps to go, Bonga.
Yeah,
My
it's
word.
getting crazy. Wow, you're doing well.
Oh my word! In the comments here, speaking about the battle here, let's see that we've got Mello really breathing down Inati's neck here. So there are a whole lot of battles all over the grid here. Titus, of course, is creeping both. Ooh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Mello gets that move on Inati. It just slips past him here as he takes that left-hander into the that super tight section of the Twin Towers. Yay, there are spectators standing in the rain watching that as Selby and Man Ray have been battling it out here in the comments. I know you've been talking about Man Ray's aggression. Selby and Seaclay. Look at that! Seaclay made his way with the curves here, trying to get that move on Selby, but Selby said,
Can we
no,
move to
not
Sbuda?
today.
Can we
Well,
move to Sbuda and Lungs?
Buddha and
They're
lungs
passing
here,
Buddha
yes.
and Lou to
Let's
heating up.
let's Buddha and lungs. Oh, lungs is gonna be tight. And Buddha's going outside. Oh, what a move that was! Would you look at that? That grip that Spuda managed to have over lungs down to second place. There are battles all over the grid here right now. As we get a yellow flag in sector 3.
Yellow sector
Spuda
3,
has.
one of the houses. Oh my goodness, what an overtake. Oh my goodness. That was one, like he launched it. Or it's better that it dies once and for all. And we have another yellow sector as well in sector 1.
Yes. My word. Look at Man Ray also making their way there up the grid. But this battle between Sbuda and Lungs has been won for the ages. And now, as if Lungs didn't have enough to think about as he's been fighting for that podium, now he's got Titus breathing down his neck.
Yeah, and that's quite another fight that he really has to look out for because quite Titus is quite a pretty good driver and we things are gonna get intense as we see another yellow flag incident and
In sector
yeah,
2,
sector
and
2
Bonga, CJ has made his way into the
the
points.
top is in the top is in the land of the top tens now.
He's into the point, the land of the top 10. Oh, yes. And would you look at that? Look how tight it is between these three. Going into the final laps,
Titus. Wait for
who will
Titus.
hold out?
Titus is also heating up. If Titus is looking to get into T3, he really wants his position. Wants that position to be on the top spot in the top grid again.
And he has a lot of
But
ERS.
he definitely does have a lot of VRS, and we'll have to see how that's gonna pan out. But right now,
Absolutely. Further down the grid, let's look here.
Josh is
Oh, Selby has gone a little bit, but Cife is trying to get an insane move here. Oh, my
Selby is
word, would
out.
you look at that? He is right.
Man, straight. Ooh,
Oh, my word. We lost Selby.
Cynthia caught. Jeez. Cynthia just overtook. He overtook Man Ray, so he's done the first Aston Martin, and he's looking to go into the second one within the same sector.
Yes, let's go on board with Cife here to see if he manages to get this move on Spy Zozo. This is one of the tightest battles that we're seeing, but we also need to make sure
And
that well, let's see. See the man, she does the move here. Oh, not quite getting that move done. But let's go all the way to the top here. It's been an absolute classic of a drive as far as Josh is concerned. Josh, of course, did so well to qualify in P1. He kind of was scrapping
Good
for his
job,
position
Josh.
earlier on in the race, and as Josh is making his way past the Nick, presumably one of the back markers of the race here, he is coming into the final kind of curves. He has had Spuda breathing down his neck
Wait
earlier in the
for
race,
Titus.
but he opened the gap. It is Josh.
Titus. Titus.
Wait, bro.
Titus.
Maglobi.
Ooh,
Wait.
well, but as we come and see Josh making his way into the final straight here, what a day it's been for Josh, aka Damn Nietzsche, doing his best for his team, which was ninth before this race, and he crosses the line like first. But what will happen between Titus here and
Let's
Lungs? They managed to
go.
cross in second and
Teammates.
third. Oh my goodness, what a race this has been. It has been a battle for those podium places. Lungs
Let's
manages to
go.
hold on for Red Bull after that
Yes.
earlier incident where we lost to Tile. We have got Fundo now making his way to the podium. Of course, it has been a battle of the ages here that Sifle has also been doing. As he's, oh my word, he makes his way to P9 after sliding down the grid and getting some penalties earlier in the day. What a race, Bonga.
Race. Yeah, man. What a race. I'm still pretty much impressed by where Jay and Loveness ended in terms of positions because he had started and he basically gained um about almost 10 positions going up. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
alone already tells like there's it was quite a strong a strong race that he had. But man, Lungs, I have to give it to him for having fend off the type of heat that it came through his way from Sbu and Tatus and everyone else behind him. It
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
really like a hard race.
What a day. We'd love to hear in the comments who has been your driver of the day. There were battles all over the grid, at the top of the grid, at the
Oh,
bottom of the
indeed.
grid. Loveness says that our broadcaster, but for you in the comments, we would love to hear who is your driver of the day. Let us know. Could we get our podium finishers for a quick chat here before we end our broadcast?
So let's see if we can't get them in.
What a race. What a comeback from Fundo. Kid K says tomorrow, same track. Kid K says the daycare drivers are driving tomorrow. Not quite, of course. If you tuned in late, this is Breakaway F1 Esports League, the best Formula One league in South Africa. Of course, you know it. Loveness, the silent assassin, really made his way up the grid. What a drive, starting from P18. D-Wax was all the way in P14, Spizozo in P15, and they finished in the points. So what a race it has been for them. Lungs started all the way in 8th place and finished first. My word, what a drive, what a day this has been. We lost a couple of people, of course, to the wet conditions, and well, this has been an absolute classic, Banga.
Indeed, I have this like the level of racing again, as we mentioned at the start of this race, that the guys are at a different level now. The things that you see are just so amazing, and what happened today was proof of that.
Yeah, we're getting some votes for Josh for driver of the day, for Lung's driver of the day. But my word, what a day it has been. We've seen, of course, the likes of Spizozo, D-Wax, Loveness finishing in the points, fighting their way all the way up the grid. What a day it was. Tomorrow, this league, the Formula One Breakaway F1 League, well, the Tier 2 drivers who are hoping to someday make it to this tier will be racing tomorrow. Same time, same track. People in the comments calling the Tier 2 league the daycare league. We disagree, and the championship leader, Ban Kobe, will definitely disagree with that. But, Banga, thank you very much. It's been fantastic, Banga.
Sure, man. Same time tomorrow.
Same time tomorrow. Thank you, everybody in the comments, for your patience with everything here today. We will keep on improving and getting better in every aspect here of F1 Breakaway. We will see you, well, tomorrow. And as they say, and as they leap in South Africa, Sandy Bonani. Oh no, or the other one, the opposite of Sandy Bonani to all of you. Goodbye.
Cheers.